Let's talk about public transportation, folks. Specifically, let's talk about the Southwest Bus Link in Sydney, Australia. This project on the surface sounds like a good idea. More public transport options, right? Wrong. This isn't some whimsical double-decker bus tour of London. This is a full-blown assault on the commutes of thousands of Sydney-siders. The Southwest Bus Link will replace a perfectly functional train line with, wait for it, buses. Yes, buses. Those lumbering behemoths of public transportation that get stuck in traffic just like your average Camry. This is not progress, my friends. This is a step backward, a regression into the dark ages of commuting. The most egregious sin of the Southwest Bus Link is its impact on travel times. Commuters who currently rely on the T3 Bankstown line to travel between Sydenham and Bankstown are looking at a potential doubling of their travel time. Let that sink in for a moment. Double. Imagine this. Your daily commute, already a soul-crushing exercise in patience, suddenly takes twice as long. That's more time spent crammed onto crowded buses, inhaling the sweet aroma of someone's tuna sandwich. That's less time spent with your families, pursuing your hobbies, or simply enjoying the precious few hours of freedom you have outside of work. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are they replacing a perfectly good train line with buses? It's a valid question and one that deserves a straight answer. The official line is that they're converting the T3 Bankstown line into a metro line. But here's the thing, the T3 Bankstown line is already a functional train line. It gets people where they need to go, relatively on time. Why spend millions, if not billions of dollars to upgrade it into something that will ultimately be less efficient? It's like tearing down your perfectly livable house and replacing it with a yurt. Sure, it's different, but is it better? The answer, my friends, is a resounding no. Section 4, Misplaced Priorities, Ignoring Sydney's Real Transit Deserts. The real tragedy of the Southwest Bus Link is that it's being built at the expense of other, more deserving areas of Sydney. There are entire swaths of this sprawling metropolis that are woefully underserved by public transportation. These are the true transit deserts, places where residents have to rely on cars or infrequent, unreliable buses just to get around. Instead of addressing these glaring inequities, the powers that be have decided to focus their attention on a line that already exists. It's like giving a billionaire a tax cut while ignoring the plight of the working poor. It's a classic case of misplaced priorities, and it's the commuters who will ultimately pay the price. Section 5, Eastern Suburbs, a land of luxury yet starved for trains. Let's talk about the eastern suburbs for a moment, shall we? This is a land of million-dollar views, pristine beaches, and terrible public transportation. Yes, you heard that right. Despite being one of the wealthiest areas in Sydney, the eastern suburbs are shockingly underserved by trains. Residents here are forced to rely on a patchwork of buses and private vehicles to get around, leading to congestion and frustration. It's a classic case of champagne problems, you might say, but the lack of adequate public transportation in the eastern suburbs is a microcosm of Sydney's larger transit woes. Section 6, Northern Beaches, isolated paradises or public transport purgatory. Then there's the Northern Beaches, a string of idyllic suburbs nestled along Sydney's picturesque coastline. These are places with names like Manly and Palm Beach, conjuring up images of sun-drenched days and carefree living. But beneath the surface of this paradise lies a dark secret. The Northern Beaches are a public transport purgatory. The only way to get to the Northern Beaches by train is to take a circuitous route that can take well over an hour. For those who rely on public transportation, it's a daily exercise in frustration. And let's not even get started on the buses. Let's just say that they are about as reliable as a politician's promise. Section 7, Conclusion, a city divided, the high cost of misguided transit. The Southwest Bus Link is a symptom of a larger problem in Sydney, a lack of vision and leadership when it comes to public transportation. Instead of creating a truly integrated and equitable transit system, one that serves all Sydney-siders, we're left with a patchwork of half measures and misguided projects. The Southwest Bus Link is a slap in the face to commuters, a symbol of misplaced priorities, and a stark reminder that we can and must do better. The future of Sydney depends on it, because a city divided by its public transportation is a city divided against itself. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster.